Good morning, sixth graders. I've got a little bit of math I'm hoping for us to do this morning. So we're going to go over some stuff together. I just want to give you a heads up that on Monday we're going to start CPM lessons. So be ready, please. Make sure you got your materials I dropped off or that got picked up for you from school. So this morning we're just going to do a little multiplication, a decimal multiplication review. And when I see you later on for the Zoom session, we'll do a couple examples, and I'll give you some to work on to bring to the meeting. Also for fun, I've got my baby in the background. You might hear her. She's eating her breakfast right now, very excited. So let's do a couple problems. The first problem I want to go over is 9/10 times 21/100, and the method I want to talk about first is changing it into fractions. So, of course, this would be rewritten as 9/10 and this as 21/100. The method, of course, is just to multiply straight across, so that's got 3 zeros. So I know that it's going to be 1,000. And then I can just multiply the 1 times 9, that's going to give me 9, and the 2 times 9, of course, will give me 18. So I get 189 1,000ths. The way to write it as a decimal is just to count the number of zeros there, so you know that that's how many places will be behind your decimal, and just fill in the numbers. So you get 189 1,000ths. Let's look at the same problem here, except instead of writing it as a fraction, we'll go over the standard algorithm. And I'm actually walking around right now also cleaning off the spoon because Nora just dropped it on the ground, so I have to clean it so she can keep eating. So sorry for the delay. Okay, we're back. So what I do when I do the standard algorithm is I want to look for a number that has more digits in it, which in this case would be 21/100, because I'm going to rewrite it, and when you're multiplying decimals, you don't worry about lining up the decimals, you're just lining up the digits, and then you can just use the standard algorithm. So 9 times 1 is 9, 9 times 2 is 18, carry the 1, 9 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1, right? And then the trick is to count how many from both numbers are to the right of the decimal. So 9/10 has 1 and 21/100 has 2, so that tells me that I'm going to have 1, 2, 3 behind the decimal, and there's my same answer, 189 tenths, hundredths, thousandths. Let's do one more practice. We'll do 1 and 21/100 times 3/100, or 3/10, I'm sorry. You can pick any method, it doesn't really matter, but I'm going to do the standard algorithm. And since this has more digits, I'm going to put it on the top. So I'll go 1 and 21/100 times 0 and 3/10. Oh, we just dropped our spoon again. 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 1 is 3. This would be all zeros, so I just kind of ignore it. And then I'm just going to count places to the right of the decimal, 1, 2, 3. So that means I need to have 1, 2, 3 in my answer. And there's my ugly decimal. And then I've got 363 thousandths. Okay, let's do another one. Let's go 7/10 times 13/100. So I'll rewrite this one as 7/10. This as 13/100. Same thing, I've got 1, 2, 3 there. So that's going to give me 3 thousandths, got a happy baby in the background. 3 times 7 is 21, right? And 10 times 7 is 70. I add those together, I get 91. Right, so this one gets a little tricky because you're going to look at it like this. 1, 2, 3. That means my final answer's got to have 3. So what gets different about this one is I'm going to fill in the 1, the 9. That has to get filled in with a 0. Okay, let's wash your spoon off again. Okay. Then it's very exciting. Okay, so I'll give you a couple to work on, and then when I come back in the Zoom later this morning, we'll see if we can talk about them. So let's try a few. Let's do 17 hundredths times 2 tenths. And remember to choose the strategy that you think makes more sense. We'll do 3 and 14 hundredths times 1 hundredth. And let's do 9 hundredths times 1 and